President Biden is meeting with NATO allies in Brussels in a high-stakes show of unity against Russia's month-long invasion of Ukraine. Biden is also meeting with fellow leaders of the G7, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the UK, and will later meet with the European Council. The meetings come after the U.S. formally declared Russia has committed war crimes in Ukraine by indiscriminately attacking and deliberately targeting civilians. Verified video circulating on social media shows the destruction in Mariupol, where Ukrainian forces are now engaged in fierce fighting with the Russians. Ukraine's military also says it destroyed a Russian ship at a port under Russian control. We'll have more on the fighting in a moment, but first let's go to White House correspondent Karen Travers, who's live in Brussels for us. Karen, the White House says President Biden is set to announce new sanctions on Russian elites and that the U.S. will also welcome up to 100,000 Ukrainian refugees. How significant are these moves?
Diane, it's another attempt to try and put economic pressure on Vladimir Putin to force him to change his behavior, to end these attacks on Ukraine. The president today announcing this latest round of U.S. sanctions targeting members of the Duma, that's the lower level of Russia's parliament, as well as more of Russia's elites, more oligarchs, as we've seen in recent weeks. This is part of that effort to try and squeeze Vladimir Putin, put pressure on people around him to see if that sparks a change. You know, we've been asking this question recently at the White House, Diane, of why the administration thinks sanctions around people like that, around Putin's inner circle, might make that difference. And they say any economic pressure right now, anything they can do to try and cripple the Russian economy is something that could make a difference in Russia's behavior.
And Karen, NATO leaders say the alliance is transforming for more dangerous strategic reality. The Secretary General went on to say that Russia's invasion of Ukraine has created a new normal. So what does that new normal look like?
That could mean more troops in Eastern Europe, NATO's eastern flank. We know that the president has been presented with the possibility of adding U.S. troops in Eastern Europe and also talk about a more permanent presence there. The president, we're told by senior officials, is constantly assessing the situation, and he'll make a decision based on how the situation evolves. But Diane, you know, here we are 1 month exactly from Russia's invasion of Ukraine. I think most military experts you talk to in the weeks leading up to that would not have thought it would last this long. So the administration, the Pentagon, the White House, and European allies are constantly looking at what the situation is looking like right now in the immediate term and what might have to change in the short and medium term going forward.
And as President Biden departed the White House yesterday, he again said there was a real threat of Russia using chemical weapons in Ukraine. How much focus is there on chemical weapons at this summit? And is NATO drawing any kind of red line here?
They won't use that phrase, red line. We heard from the NATO Secretary General earlier today, who said that the use of chemical weapons by Russia in Ukraine would totally change the nature of the conflict. The White House will also not use that phrase, red line. But as you say, we heard from the president yesterday, who said there's a real threat that Russia does that. He has in recent weeks warned that there would be severe consequences if Russia were to take that action. But Diane, the president's been asked what those consequences would be. He has not said, and senior officials will also not say what the response would be if Russia were to move in that direction.
And Karen, China is Russia's most important strategic partner. Now, the White House National Security Advisor said that so far they haven't seen China providing military aid. That was an area of concern, but they are still watching China very closely. So how are NATO leaders approaching China?
Yeah, putting that same pressure that we've been hearing from the Biden administration, warnings, very strong warnings that China should not and cannot help Russia, either with economic assistance because of those crippling sanctions to try and help their economy out a bit, or with actual direct military assistance. We know that the National Security Advisor warned his Chinese counterpart about this last week in a very long meeting, and the president spoke with China's President Xi last week. But at this point, the administration says they do not see any indication that China has done that. But that doesn't mean they won't in the future. And again, a lot of stern warnings, a lot of tough language from the White House saying China cannot take that step.
All right, Karen Travers, we appreciate it. Karen, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.